everyone to another episode For the Sake of Heaviness. My name is Butch Ballage, as here as always with...
My name is Merciful Mike.
Today we are honored to have Joseph Tholl. You may know him from... Maybe you know him from Black Trip. Maybe you know him from Tribulation. Maybe you know him from Enforcer. And he's all mixed up. Here's his first solo record. Today we're here to talk about It Might Be Art, Joseph's latest record, out June 12th on High Roller Records. Mike and I have both been loving the album, Joseph. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you so
really
much.
Great.
I'm glad you like the album.
Love it.
It's really great. I've always, as long as I've, going back as far as Enforcer and the Black Trip albums, like I've always liked your guitar playing and your songwriting, and I love your singing voice. I think it's unique. So it's really cool. Like I really like the solo records a lot. I had grabbed Devil's Drum at Hell Over Hammerberg, and on CD I'd gotten it, and I finally got the LP. So, and I'm looking forward to getting the LP of It Might Be Art in my hands too. So,
yeah,
you're a busy guy. I mean, how do you find time to... Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just saying I will be getting the vinyls for myself tomorrow. I saw just in a mail. It's been a little bit delayed, just the vinyl version,
You're not the first one to say that. A couple of other bands said there's been a little bit of a bottleneck as far as, the production of vinyl, but I looked it up too.
I think especially Lockhart, they had the same release date.
Yep. So yeah. July 3rd is what it looks like for you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't even know that, but cool.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Who did the album art while we're talking about the vinyl? I mean, it's a really cool looking album cover.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a friend of mine. His name is Mats Davidsson, who painted a portrait of me. And then I found like the background is a different painted picture that I found in a secondhand store.
Really?
Just like an abstract kind of sea thing. And then I got the editor, Christian Ekeblom, who did all the layout for the record, to put these two paintings together. So it turned out pretty cool, and like the whole idea of the sort of album, it's not really, it's sort of a little bit of a concept album, and I feel like the artwork captures pretty well, where it's like me with some kind of stormy ocean behind me, coming into land and have survived a rough time or something like that.
I couldn't agree more. I think the artwork complements the music, and we could talk a little bit more about that too. But I felt there was a bit of a theme, maybe not a concept, but a little bit of a theme throughout the album. So the artwork ties into it really, really good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm really lucky to have people around me that are willing to do great stuff. It's very important, especially I guess when you're doing a solo thing, that you can bring in help from other people, stuff like that. I mean, of course, artwork. I never do artwork myself, even if it's with another band or but these kinds of things, to bring in friends that feel that have passion for it and feel obligated and are happy to be asked.
Right.
So that was cool.
Very cool. So with how prolific you are, where do you find the time sometimes between all the things you do, and how do you know, like when you started this record, like, or when you're working on music, do you gear specifically for a project? Like if you're writing for Tribulation, for example, do you like specifically set out to write a certain way and then you present that material, and then when you're writing for yourself solo, it's going to be for that? Or do you just sit and write and let it come to you, and at that point then decide this sounds like it'll go here, this can go here, maybe this is Tyrann, that kind of thing? Like, what's your process?
What you mean. I mean, lately it has been very concentrated to the thing that I do at the moment. So I guess that all depends on how much I have on the table at the time. But if we take like the last Tribulation record, for example, that was very concentrated in the studio, doing the pre-production, writing only for Tribulation for a couple of months, and then also this album was the same thing. And I think that's overall is a pretty general way that I work. But then of course there's always parts that you had been lying around for years,
Right.
and you might pick them up, and it might end up in Tribulation or somewhere else instead of what I originally thought, you know. But yeah, something like that.
Very cool.
But I like that. I like the way of concentrating the work to a shorter period of time, just like I did now. Wrote maybe 90% of the material during 2 months,
Okay.
except for stuff that I just said, as you bring in stuff that has been lying around, of course. But most of it is very new and very written at the same time, and that makes it very fun, I think, too.
So when you've gone through the writing process, do you like record fairly quickly after that, like to keep it all keep it all fresh and lively, so to speak? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. I think I wrote the songs during February, like January, February. Uh, I had it like laying on the shelf during the summer, and I recorded in the fall.
Okay.
Basically, just because I didn't have the time in the summer to continue working, I had to do other stuff. But
Right.
then in the fall, I got the time again to really get into the tracking sessions.
How did the tracking sessions go, Joseph? Because outside of percussion, you played everything. So what was that timeline like? Was that hard management for you to be able to do all of that, or did you already have kind of a bit of a schedule in your head of how you were going to lay that out?
I basically just try to work as much as I can whenever I have the time.
Yeah.
Uh, and but and that's the reason why I play so much myself too, because it takes more time. It's just a matter of efficiency, because it takes more time to bring in someone to play the bass and have them learn the song, book a time, rehearse it and stuff like that. Instead of me, once I've done the rhythm guitars, the bass is hanging on the wall. I've already played bass on the demo, and to this comes that like my demos are always very precise, because that has also to do with the efficiency, because I have to bring in a drummer for a session, and I don't want it to take too long. I don't want to, I want it to be smooth for them. So then I want the song to be 100% finished, so that we don't have to go through too much stuff in the studio.
Right.
And like, I don't want to figure out stuff in the heat of the moment. I want to let the drummers focus on just playing as good as they can and not being worried about the form of the song or something like that. That's why I make very precise demos. So, and that also includes the bass and the piano parts and everything. So I already have that so close. So it's very natural to just, in a way, I would think it'd be a lot of fun to have someone else play the bass and the other rhythm guitar, but that's just too time consuming, too expensive, I guess,
That too.
So,
Sure.
so yeah, I'm trying to be efficient and then focus on bringing in great drummers, because I can't do that myself, And then of course I have a lot of guests
Yes.
on the album, and then I want them to do work that you can hear that it's someone else. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the same point to bring in someone to play rhythm guitar, because maybe you can't really hear the difference anyway. But
Right.
but when you bring in a guest on vocals or guitar solos, that's mainly what they do, you know, something that you can hear. Oh, this is not Joseph playing. This must be Adam Sars or Robert Persson, you know, or someone else's voice. It's also very, you know, fun to do to break the constant Joseph voice, you know.
Joseph, what's your writing process like when you sit down when it comes time to do the vocal melodies and the lyrics? Like, are you someone that writes a lot, keeps notebooks and has like, things you could choose from, like, oh, this, you get the mood of a song and then you're like, oh, I have something like that? Or do you like to have everything in place and then you'll do are you one of those guys that, like, coming into the studio, you're coming in and you're working on lyrics as you're going in? Like, what's your process for that?
Well, the lyrics always comes, not always, but a lot of times comes later than the music. Even though it's very important to me, you know.
Right.
Or was that really the question? Like, especially about the lyrics, or?
Yeah, I was just curious. Like, it's always fun for me, like, to ask, especially to find out when people are singers or lyric writers, like, because over the years, as you follow different people, you get some, you hear about some guys, like I'd read stories about back in the day, Jeff Tate carrying around a little micro recorder with him, and he'd have like he'd run across, have some situation with someone out in public or see something, and he'd like record into his thing. He'd keep, like, and some singers, like, are always writing lyrics, whereas you have, like,
I get what you mean.
I myself, I'm lazy, and I'm like last minute, I'm like freaking out, and I'm in the studio, like, literally writing then. So it's always interesting to me how people do it, because there's such a wide way of doing it.
I feel like I always have, like, the first idea kind of has a few lines that will be kept until the end, to the last product kind of thing. But then it can be I have those lines for a chorus, let's say, or a verse, and the idea of the theme, the lyrical theme, is based on that, and I have the theme and stuff, but it can take until the last day for me to finish the lyrics, you know.
Right.
That's why, yeah, and I have to sit with only that at the very end of the process. I spend a few days at home, outside of the studio. I don't want to be in the studio for the lyric writing. I'd rather sit home or somewhere else.
Right.
Sure.
And just focus on that. And that can be tough days, but I really enjoy it too. You know, one thing I love is when you write a really good lyric that you have spent, actually, it sounds weird, but you have spent a lot of time on it, and it turns out to be worth it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a crazy feeling that, like, working constantly for 3 days, and every single line takes a lot of time to figure out, but in the end it feels perfect. It's really rewarding. I feel like it's worth to spend a lot of time sometimes, because other times, yeah, it's amazing when that happens, because other times, especially when writing music, for me, it's like, if you can spend 3 days on a song that won't make it, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the opposite. That's a horrible feeling. Wasted 3 days, you know, didn't turn into anything. And you try so hard because you feel like the original idea,
Right.
You had a verse that has to fit with something, but
Sure.
then it's just like, I don't know, this is too hard. It's better to go on and do something that might just immediately kick away.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I think the final product here is perfect. I mean, Butch and I have really been discussing how much we love this album. And I think that the time and the work that you put into it really shines through, because it's such a good, fulfilling, gratifying album when you get to the end of it. you know, you feel so good having listened to that. And I wanted to ask you, speaking of lyrics and themes, and I hope I'm not getting too deep here. You can pull me back out if you
Don't
have
worry.
to. But I feel like, I mean, dare I say, this feels like it was a bit of a spiritual album, and you feel, or I feel that you were very in tune with seasons and nature. And I just want to run this by you because there was two passages that just showed me that cycle. So
Yeah.
the passage in I'm in a darkness, there's a pitch black hole where I bury my soul when the earth lies in a slumber. And then you kind of come back to that a little bit on East Serenus Teed. Sorry if I said that wrong. But you said, we made it through the winter and soon it will be spring and another year has passed. So I
Yeah.
feel this theme as a constant kind of driving force with the album. Was that a conscious effort? Is that kind of what you were going for?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like uh, as I was getting into the process, I realized that this is almost a concept album, just
Yeah.
about such a basic thing as life, you know. But
Yeah.
it has been done before. It's very, you know, a used theme, but this is my time to do a record like that, and it sprung out of a time where I was really stressed, and the reason I made this record is because I didn't want to do anything else with my life at
Mhm.
that point, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's the whole album is a celebration of my love to music and to life itself, and how you can get out of a shitty mood going to music, you know. And it's amazing how that happens when you might be like, am I even gonna make another? Like, I don't want to think of anything. I don't want to think of doing music. And then it's like my unconsciousness just walks me there. You know that
Hmm.
it's so obvious that this is what I'm supposed to do. You know. So and that's reflecting in the lyrics too. And I mean, "A Darkness" was really a song where I just had to get the
Yeah.
whole thing out of me, you know. It's not as
Mhm.
dramatic as it sounds, but it feels good to scream that shit, you know.
Yeah.
To
Good
Absolutely.
get it,
catharsis.
it's
Yeah.
very recreational and great, and that's another important song of the on the journey on the album too. And then in City and Steed, which is on it was a great translation you did.
Thank you.
Uh, that's like that's a song about my son and about life, like, and he's been and it's about him spending another year on Earth, you know, uh, born in
Such a
spring, and
such a
yeah,
great song.
thank you.
And catchy.
So
Oh my God, that hook is so catchy in that song. I can catch myself humming that throughout the day because it's just so good.
really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
really. I wanted to ask about that song too. You know, you sing in your native tongue on that one, and I always liked. For me, although I don't, you know, you can listen to music and you don't have to understand the language. I always like the way that Swedish sounds when bands sing in
okay,
Swedish.
cool.
Is it something you'd
Yeah.
like to do more of, or is you know, or like which do you prefer one or the other? You sing mostly in English, but I really like it. There's just something really about the language that I like the way it sounds. It's like one of those things like I if I had the time, like I'd almost like to learn just so I know what you know, what's being said. But
Yeah,
I think it's one, yeah, I think it's one of the languages that really it just mixes well, especially like with this style. I just really like the way it comes across. So what you know is it again? I guess I'm making the question longer than I need to. I
oh
apologize.
yeah, it's
Is
cool.
it something you'd like to do more of, or
I mean, first of all, it's cool to hear you say that it sounds great, because it's something you might think of when you put in, especially on an album where all the other songs are in English. And how weird is this for English speaking people to hear? What does this sound like? You know, I have no idea. I can only relate to what it's like to hear someone singing. I mean, in Swedish, it's not even like, it's not Spanish. It's not a huge language or something like that. But
right.
So that's great to hear that it still sounds all right.
Yeah,
But
I mean the emotion comes through in it. So it's there's a couple languages when I listen to music, I don't think it, for me it doesn't, there's just like a, I could fully get the, you could fully get the melodic vibe of it in this, in this case.
Yeah.
And there's sometimes where that's not the case for me.
Yeah, okay, but that's great. Well, I mean, I really want to write more songs in Swedish, and I've tried to do it before, but it's very easy to feel pretentious if you can't really lift it up, if you know what I mean. Like, it's much easier to hide behind the English language. It's much more naked to sing in Swedish, and you know, it's, for me, it has been much harder to make honest poetry out of it that doesn't feel too much cliche. But this song was easy to do because it's just a hymn to my son and my family, and it wasn't really supposed to be on the album at first either. I just felt like it turned out to be a great song, and like I might as well make a rock song out of it. It's just an acoustic, kind of thing first. So I try, and it was super easy to do. It's a simple song, and it went really fast to track it, and eventually it turned out to be one of my favorite songs, and one of the singles. So that's, yeah, one of those kinds of songs. There's always, there's this one that you've been working on for too much time, but it's like a great epos or whatever. And then there's these kinds of songs that you just, whatever, and it turns out great.
I'm assuming that was your son in the video too?
It is, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, is because the song is so personal, is that why this song of all the songs is sung in Swedish on here, since it is about your son and your family?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't really even thought of writing those words in English. I think.
Very cool.
I like it because
I mean, he doesn't speak English either, so it's
right.
He wouldn't have gotten it. Like, now he's 4 years old, and he's running around singing this song now. But
how awesome is that? Wow.
Yeah.
I like that it kind of infuses, the Swedish culture into the song too. It gives it that unique identity on the album. So, yeah, excellent song.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to ask you. There's a first of all, I love the diversity on this record. I think it sounds cohesive. Like, if you listen to Devil's Drum, like, it's a step from there. You could tell that it's Joseph Tholl. Your voice is unmistakable. Your songwriting is impeccable on both. This one, I think, like, has, I appreciate that it has like some more moods on it. Like, you stretched your songwriting even further on this one. And I also think it's kind of cool. The three singles you chose and the videos are all so different, which I think is kind of reflective of the diversity on the record. Like, I love Issa Renen's Tea. You get that, you're outside, in nature, so to speak, and then It Might Be Art is like, a moody kind of, like, it just fits the vibe of that. And then you have New Dawn, which is like, a lot of behind the scenes shots of you and guys from different bands. And like, who are the video concepts all yours, and who did the videos with you?
Yeah, they're all mine, and the first two, like New Dawn was the first one. I did that myself, and I took my old digital camera that I bought in 2007, and I found a lot of old hard drives with old clips and memories from. So it's like a tour video, but with all kinds of just parties and friends and family situations between from the last 20 years or something.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it suited the song very well, I think. You know, it's kind of nostalgic, feel good feeling that.
For sure.
Yeah, and I did a few like performance scenes where I play, but also with that camera, like shitty quality kind, but it, you know, it fits that kind of video, I think. And the second one I did myself as well. That's very. Uh, I mean, well, that one could have deserved a a bigger budget, I guess. I mean, I feel like I took some water over my head on that one, but uh, but it suits the song, and it, you know, it kind of makes the message comes across. It's an arty thing, just, you know, like that's how I wanted it to be. Like that's the art part, and then the last one is made by, it's my idea, but it's at least a professional photographer
Yeah.
who filmed it and edited the thing. So
yeah,
that's the only
cool.
one. That's the only one that's like a real video, actually. The last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're all great. I hope everyone goes and checks them out. We do want to be considerate of your time, but we do have a couple more questions for you real quick. The promotional material, I thought the story behind how you name the album is cool. I was wondering if you could just tell the people watching, like, I just think it made me smile, which the whole album does. I mean, it's a very, you know, when I read the story about the title, I'm like, oh my God, that's classic.
All right. So it's a teenage memory from when I was hanging out at Johannes Andersson's place, the singer from Tribulation. We've been friends all our lives, and our parents were very good friends too. Uh, all our parents were like artists and painters and sculpture stuff. And his father was a great painter, or is a great painter still. But so there was all kinds of art in their home, and we were watching TV, I think, and on the table there was a bowl with two apples. And I was like, can I have an apple? And Johannes says, man, I'm not sure. It might be art, you know? And actually, it turns out it was art. Uh, I guess he was supposed to paint those apples or something, you know? They were kind of scrumpy, but I'm I kind of like them when they are a little bit, because they turn so sweet, you know?
Yeah.
So it's funny, and that has been like a funny saying for years, or a funny story that has been brought up a couple of times. So it's pretty cool that it finally, you know, turned out to suit my album so well as a title.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, I had to have you tell that story. That was great. I did want to ask too, before we let you go, what are the chances that we'll see the band live? I know you got to play back for Devil's Drum. I saw you at Hell over Hammerberg. You and Robert Pearson, played in each other's bands, and you're able to do a solo set there. And I think you did some shows also around Sweden back then. Are you going to try to get on the road and do some things for this record as well?
Yeah, that's the ambition, definitely. But I'm also gonna just like be very cool with it and not stress out over that, and let it take its time and see what, it hasn't been really possible for me to book anything before the album release,
right?
Because it has to come out there, and I have to get hopefully a little bit of buzz, around to be able to book shows. So I have two shows booked here in Stockholm, because I'm having a release show in 2 weeks, and then a club show in the fall. But so that's all I can say right now. But the ambition is to play, as much as possible.
Yeah.
During considering the circumstances or whatever. But it's cool because I mean I have a band put together now for this first show, and hopefully they can make it to the next show as well. But we're all busy guys playing in different bands and stuff like that. But the whole idea is to sort of have a pool of people where you can, you're not. It doesn't have to be these 3, 4, or 5 people all the time. Whoever's available can do it. So for me, it's like, as I did on the last record, it's just like, if I get an offer, I can just look at it myself and say, yeah, let's do it. And then I call the guys after that and see whoever's available. And if they're not, then I have to find someone else,
Hopefully those live dates pan out, because the album should get out in front of people. So
the music just needs to be played live, kind of. I just love that it's straight down the line, like great rock. Like you can't pigeonhole it. It's hard rock. There's power pop in there. There's it's moodier at times. There's little bits of little bits of goth, and it's all over the. I just love that it's all over the map, but it has like a very lively vibe to it. So
yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we just started rehearsing this week.
Awesome.
And it sounds great. It's super fun songs to play live as well. So
yeah,
it's gonna be great. Yeah, that's the next thing that I have to keep working with, to stay in the album, to not leave it here. I have to continue working with it for 2 years.
Right.
Hopefully until another one possibly, but to really try to stay in something and not. I'm like afraid that I will get too many ideas of new songs right now, because I want that to wait.
You need to stay in this headspace right now.
Yes.
Very cool.
Well, congrats on a fantastic album, Joseph. I mean, from New Dawn all the way down to The Burial, it's just, I overuse words sometimes, but for me, it's a masterpiece. I can't say enough good stuff about it.
Damn, thank you so much.
I agree. I agree with Mike. It's one of those records that the more you listen to it, the more it reveals itself and
stays with you.
I think is a hallmark of great songwriting.
100%.
So,
guys, thank you.
And thank you so much for your time. We're really, when Mike first said that we might have a chance to talk to you, I was like, oh, we definitely got to talk to Joseph. I just been,
yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, that means a lot. Yeah.
So all the best on continued success. I mean, I hope you can take this album, push it as far as you can take it, because it needs to get out there. It really does.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, and thank you for supporting. I'll do my best to get this further. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, everyone out there, the album's called It Might Be Art. It's on High Roller Records. It was released on June 12th. Sounds like around July 3rd the vinyl will come out. So, check it out. Go order it. Go to your local record store and where they sell quality hard rock and pick this record up. You will not, or check the videos out over on YouTube. Do all the things, man.
You too, guys.
Take care. Thanks for your time. Bye.
Thank you.